What is up? It is Bryony McKenzie here, the founder of Untapped and the Social Experiment, and the thing I want to talk to you today can be triggering, can be emotional, and can be painful, and that is money. Because so many of you had said that money was the thing holding you back from living your true potential, from following your purpose and your passion and what you're here to do. And that breaks my heart, because if I'm honest, there is money everywhere. And yes, money is the resource that makes the world go round, right? And it's everywhere, and it's not the money that's the problem. It's our relationship to money that's the issue. And this is something I've personally worked through and been through on so many levels. So I wanted to share my story in the hope to give you some hope and some insight around this. So I went from, if you know me, I went from a top tier corporate lawyer working 12-hour days for not much money. Sometimes it worked out to be less than minimum wage, but it was a good and successful job. And whatever money I got, I would then just spend. I lived paycheck to paycheck, and that was painful. And I didn't even know how much was coming in or going out. So no matter what I bought, I just felt guilty because I felt like I didn't even have it anyway, right? But this is the money I was working hard for. And it's crazy because the world is set up to make us think we need more. So I would buy clothes and new handbags and wallets and go out for brunches and lunches and drinking and everything, and just burn, trying to fill the void, trying to fit in with the Joneses, trying to figure out who I was. Travel was a big one, going overseas, thinking that was where I was going to find my purpose, And it was so challenging because I felt stuck in this prison of I can't get out of here, and it's just this cycle, this gnarly cycle. And then internally, I was, grew up in a family that made money from traditional ways, corporate jobs, lawyers, insurance advisors, teachers, all of that. So I didn't know, and I didn't have a mindset of other ways to generate income, right? We didn't have a super entrepreneurial buzz in our family as such, so that was a new thing I had to recondition and work through. And for me internally, I had trained as a lawyer. I didn't know what other gifts I was going to bring. I didn't know how other ways I could make money in the world. So yeah, like I said, I felt stuck. I felt broke. I felt guilty about the money I did spend, and I felt freaking frustrated. And after about 3 years of that cycle, I was like, this can't be it. This cannot be a way to live. And I started seeing the craziness of how our society is set up. People are stuck in these jobs that they don't want to be in, buying shit they don't need, and then spending the rest of their money on fixing their health because they're burnt out from the jobs that they don't like. And it's just this horrible cycle that we get stuck in. So I was like, I'm going to find a way. So I realized that it wasn't a lack of money that was the issue. It was a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-belief in what I could bring to the world. And that's always what's really going on underneath it, right? So I went out and I got into the personal development game, and I worked specifically with coaches who would be able to help me rewire my money stories, who would be able to help me figure out my gifts that I could bring to the world. And finally, as I invested more and more in myself, because I'm the biggest asset and you are your biggest asset. The more I invested in myself, the more I had to give to the world. And if you understand the law of income, it is that you will be paid in direct proportion to the value that you give to the world. So I want you to think about, how can I add more value to the world? What gifts do I have that I could be paid for? And then beyond that, I had to do a whole lot of beliefs work because I felt guilty. I'd always been in social impact and volunteering and social enterprises, and I felt guilty about making money from doing something that I love. So I had to rewire and recondition those beliefs. It was super exciting. I think over the time, I calculated the other day, spent about $150,000 on my own mind so far. And it ain't stopping, because I get that I am an appreciating asset, as opposed to depreciating, like clothes and phones and cars and stuff all go down in value. I only go up in value. And when I do that, I can then bring more to the world. And when you bring more and impact more, you will receive more. That's the cycle, and that's the flow of how it works, right? And so in that time, as I was investing, I was still working and investing and doing heaps of personal development and coaching. And I'll be honest, people thought I was crazy. I know people I worked with were like, what is she up to? She always goes away on the weekend. I had to stop keeping up with the Joneses. If you notice, I wear the same shirt all the time. I'm super minimalist because I don't choose to spend my money on those things anymore, because I don't need to. And if I choose to, I feel great about it, but I don't need to. I do it from a place of choice, not a place of have to. But during that time, I know that people were judging me, right? And I stopped going out for brunches and lunches, and I started doing potlucks with friends, because I was like, I can't afford to spend $100 on a brunch or a dinner out. It doesn't bring me any actual joy. There's stuff I want to do with my life, and I was committed to getting out of the cycle. And I saved, in my whole transition out, saved $10,000 in a wee nest egg to leave law. And yeah, it was a really tough time. I experienced judgment. I still kind of felt broke, and I knew I was breaking through it. But I was excited about what was possible. And eventually, when I rewired this money story and I got the gifts that I had to give to the world, I started to actually generate income from that. And I started to see another possibility of a way I could be paid and do something I love. And the game changed for me. That's when the game really changed. When I am of worth, I am valuable, and I have something to give. And I was investing in myself and giving that. And wow. So I transitioned out of law in my first year of business, made more than I made as a lawyer, which was one of my biggest goals. And I was so freaking proud of doing that. But that also meant that was the impact I had made as well. And this is the work I do with my clients. Most of my clients one of my clients the other day, she made $6,000 in a day. She usually makes that in a month. She made that in a day. And one of my other clients, she wanted to get a pay rise, and she made $15,000 pay rise in one conversation. But before that, she had no idea what she was going to ask for. She didn't feel like she was worthy of it. And we did all of that work to get clarity and move through that. And this is what I'm committed to helping people do. People who want to see a better world, people who have gifts on their heart to share, and just getting that money story right so you can actually create the life that you're here to live. Because I know it holds so many of us back, and it kills me. And now, I literally get to do something I love every day and be paid for it, and it's incredible. And the other 2 days ago, I hit $100,000 revenue, and it's an exciting moment, and not because of the money, but because of the freedom and the choice that money gives you, right? And doing something you love, not in that cycle that I used to be in, stuck in. So I'm calling you forward. If money has been your reason, if money has been your excuse for not living your purpose, then I'm telling you it's time. It's never the money that's the problem. It's your relationship to it. It's the self-worth. It's understanding that you have gifts that are there to be uncovered. And once you uncover them and then rewire that patterning and beliefs like I had, you can actually be paid in direct proportion for the value that you bring to the world. But you have to do the work first. So I am inviting you. I have 2 spots left for the High Performing Women's program. And in this program, we go deep and we rewire and we repattern all that bullshit so you can actually step into your truth, create a life you love, live your purpose, impact the world, and be paid for it. 2 spots. We start in 2 days, so don't leave it. These will fill up fast. We've already got 7 wahine waiting on the other side for you. Me, a support coach, we're going to support you through this. We're going to make sure, because it is time. Massive love to you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you got what you needed from this. Share it, comment below. Comment yes if you're interested in the program. I will direct message you. We will talk. We will move through it, because you are worthy and your purpose matters, and it's time. Now is the time. Massive love, people. Thank you for tuning in.